professor, physician, epidemiologist. I am Dr. Sri Banerjee. Hello, I'm Dr. Sri Banerjee, core faculty for the College of Health Sciences and Public Policy at Walden University. And in this video, I'm going to show you exactly how you can map out a certain chronic disease that you might be interested in finding out more about. So let's go ahead and get started here. The disease condition that I decided to select for this particular map is one that I'm particularly familiar with, not only personally, but I've done a lot of research over the years on, is the topic of diabetes. So this is a geographic distribution, and let's make sure that what I'm saying is true and correct. This is a geographic distribution of diabetes, percent diabetes prevalence from the county health rankings data set 2021. So the percent diabetes prevalence, the darker blue, is equivalent to higher prevalence of diabetes, whereas the lighter blue, or just the lighter colors, is less than 9%. So we can use this color schema to try to interpret and read some of the local level. This is where the power is in mapping, is that not only can you get a kind of bird's eye view of a geospatial depiction on a local level, but then you can zoom in and take a look at what's going on at the local level. So I want to introduce, before I go in and actually look in the map, I want to introduce you to this concept of ranking that takes place. So, and just quickly, here are the health outcomes, and here's the various distribution of the outcomes. Then I'm going to show you the ranking. So this is the measures, and this is the overview. So the basic idea here is that the lower the number, that means, like, for instance, if you have a ranking of 1 or 2, then that means you have better health outcomes than if you have a higher number out from the counties. So that's all I'll say right now. You can look over their methodology in a lot more detail by the University of Wisconsin Population Health Institute if you want to know more about this. But I just want you to appreciate this Z statistic that is used. This is not a statistical test that is used very frequently. But when you have a standard normal distribution curve, just and that you can look into these on your own time. But when you have a standard normal distribution curve, then the power of this is that you can actually take one Phipps county code and then compare it to another county code, and then provide the ranking based on the outcomes and the factors, the risk factors that are pertaining to the disease condition. So in this example, we're looking at diabetes. So let's get back over to the map. And now let's take a look at kind of the distribution, the common kind of trends that we're seeing here. And as you can see, kind of the southern regions, Georgia, Alabama, Mississippi, Louisiana, these areas have kind of pockets with higher percentage of diabetes. So that's something that is interesting to and important to kind of look at and see what is going behind there. Again, the Appalachian regions, these also have pockets, and then we've talked about some of these in pockets as well. Nevada over here, and then looking at Utah and Arizona. So just going through some of these states, and of course going through Colorado and some of these southwestern states is important. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to zoom in. So I'm going to zoom in here. And let's start off by Allegheny County, Pennsylvania. So here, what you'll see is that life expectancy is 78 years. So the life expectancy is actually ranked at 67. Is actually ranked at 24 out of the 67 counties for health outcomes. And then if you look at health factors, this is number 10 out of 67. So this is a depiction of overall health within Allegheny County. So if you kind of look here, then and zoom in, then you can see that this is one of the lighter counties, which means that the prevalence of diabetes is not as high. But then when we go over to Beaver County, it's a slightly higher rate of diabetes. But let's go to a really darker county in western Pennsylvania. So Columbiana County is a darker county with higher percentage of diabetes prevalence. And let's look at the ranking now. And since this is Ohio, it's a little bit more difficult to compare. So let's still stay in Pennsylvania here and take a look at another county. Here we go. So we have Greene County. And then what's going on in Greene County is that you have a higher ranking. It's a 64, ranked 64 in both health outcomes and health factors out of 67. So that's a pretty low ranking. And then life expectancy is 75.6. But also the diabetes prevalence rates are pretty high. So what I've done is around Pittsburgh, I've kind of described the conditions based on the ranking of health factors and health outcomes, and then also provided you kind of an overview of how that may be related to diabetes prevalence in that area. So typically when you're making comparisons, you want to make comparisons between counties that are located within the state. So you can kind of zoom in like I did right there, click around on various counties, take a look at what the percentages are, and then kind of see what's going on. So this map will be available for you to be clicking and getting information from. In the version that I upload, what it will also include in these pop-up menus is information about this precise diabetes prevalence percentage. I typically do that, and I can actually quickly show you how that is done here. So if you configure the pop-ups here, then you can say this is all the existing expressions that are already there, but you can just provide, type in exp, and just put in just put in raw value. So did you see how I did that? So you usually open the parentheses, and this is a specific type of parentheses, and then like type in diabetes. That's what I did, and so this popped up, and then you can write what you want to appear on the screen. And that should then give you the value. And so if you wanted to find out the Greene County percent prevalence is 19.3%. So I programmed it in so that now what will happen every time you go in, so some of those counties that I went over and you didn't know about the actual prevalence of diabetes, now you'll know. So just quickly, Greene County is 19.3%, and you can see 64 out of 7 ranking, 64 out of 67 ranking. Then if you go into Allegheny County, it's 24 out of 67, and the diabetes prevalence is only 9.1% in that county. So just comparing Allegheny County to Greene County provides insights as to how diabetes prevalence may have an association with the types of risk factors and health outcomes. So I hope in this video you've learned how to kind of go through not only on a grand scale, on a global level, but also zoom in to the local level and look for potential associations. Thank you for listening.